your unit deploys.
Ace.
Good morning. My name is London Love, and today I'm here with two very special guests, our National Guard.
My name is Staff Sergeant Alan Prince.
Staff Sergeant Nicholas Ray.
And starting off, I want to ask you guys, how did you get started with your positions?
So I came over to the National Guard. I originally enlisted in the Marine Corps, switched over after 6 years in the Marines. That was back in 2016. Came over because I wanted to stay in Michigan, and it was the best way to be assigned to the state, basically. Yeah.
My cousin actually enlisted into the National Guard and said that she knew that I was actually wanting to be in some form of service. So she said I should go talk to her recruiter, and come to find out, like, they'll pay back my student loans from college. So I was like, let's do this thing, right?
Right. Alrighty, for our first question, what do people our age usually get wrong about the military?
The number one misconception is that everybody is a door kicker, is what we call our infantry. Only a very small fraction of the military is actually the combat roles. So the kicking indoors, shooting the guns, things like that. Most of the roles are more technical, the support roles, things like that, yeah.
Alrighty, and what surprised you most when you joined?
What surprised me the most, how much running we do. I was always an athlete, and I played soccer in high school and in college and stuff like that, so I was a good runner, but I mean, just like basic training, especially, everywhere you go, you're running, or you're in a formation and you're jogging along and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think that was a big eye opener.
And besides college money, what are some benefits that come along with this job?
So after 6 years, you get your VA home loan. So what that entails is zero money down, up to $500,000 of house. It's great for any military veteran to use, especially wanting to get into your first actual home buy. You got medical insurance, low-cost medical insurance. If you're single, don't have family, $42 a month. If you have a family, it's $225 a month. I always tell people, go home, ask your parents how much they're paying for health insurance. Guarantee you it's going to be about $500-600.
So did you guys see it as a big help for your personal lives?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I've had 2 kids and a knee surgery and haven't had to pay a dime because of that insurance.
Alrighty, what kind of jobs or skills can you learn that transfer to the real world careers?
Oh, man, the list is kind of endless. In the National Guard, we have over 100 different jobs to choose from. Pretty much anything you can think of that you would want to do on the civilian side, we have an Army National Guard counterpart to that. Everything from being a doctor, a nurse, to lawyer, public affairs, or like media production. We have HR, we have chemistry, so we have chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, which is basically hazmat. We have truck drivers, mechanics, so yeah, like I said, everything you can think of. You get paid to learn the skill, and then we, put you back into the civilian world where you're already trained up and ready to go. Yeah.
Okay, so as expansive as that is, like with all those different ways and opportunities, is it difficult trying to not apply, but like get recruited?
It's not difficult to start the process. That's as easy as just picking up the phone and shooting one of us a text or a phone call. But there are stipulations to joining. So, you do go through a background check. So legally you have to be cleared. Physically you do go through medical screenings, things like that. So we want, the folks that are good morals, good health, that kind of thing. Even if you have some medical issues, surgeries, things like that, we can work with that. So it's not easy, but it's not difficult either. That's our job as recruiters, to walk you through the whole thing. Yeah.
And what's day-to-day life like for you guys?
Like, as recruiters, like, it's our job to be here talking to people, like, telling everybody what the National Guard is and how it can actually benefit you. Now, my everyday life, when I wasn't a recruiter, it was 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the summer. I go to drill, I do my military police stuff. But I had a full-time career to close the gaps, right? Because 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer, it's not going to pay your bills. But it at least gives you all those other benefits that we had talked about.
Of course, of course. Next, what do you think the military is actually? Who do you think the military is actually a good fit for?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So anybody, honestly. The National Guard does a really good job of fitting into just about everybody's goals. Now, I'm one that will say, like, if you're really trying to just get out of Michigan, you know you want to do this thing full time, you want to travel, you want to deploy, you want to do all the active duty stuff, like the active duty is a good fit. But if you want to be a normal college student or you want to play sports in college, go right into the trades, go right into the workforce, whatever your goals would be for after high school, the National Guard pretty much fits just about everybody. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. Is it good for people who don't know what they want? Like when they're figuring out life, like you mentioned earlier, is it just a good like fallback almost?
So I wouldn't necessarily say a fallback. I would say more of an addition to, right? We all have that point where I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. The National Guard offers so many opportunities as far as like jobs that you can bounce from one to another. So let's say you enlist as a truck driver. After a couple of years, you're like, yeah, you know, maybe truck driving is not my thing, but you know, my ASVAB scores allows me to do all of these other jobs. You can go and do those other jobs as well.
What was most difficult for the two of you?
I think the biggest challenge is balancing when you're on duty, you're doing your 1 week in a month and 2 weeks during the summer, you know, getting back into that military mindset and then transitioning back into the civilian life, you know, kind of, it's two different personalities, two different lifestyles. So going back and forth definitely was an adjustment in the beginning, especially coming out of a different branch and coming off of active duty. That's a whole nother lifestyle, right? And then transitioning into the civilian world and then kind of doing that back and forth thing. So, yeah.
What advice would you give someone on the fence?
Just do it, honestly. Kind of what Sergeant Ray said, you know, there's a lot of different opportunities. Even if you go into one job and you hate it, you know, a year or two down the line, you can switch into a different one, and you can do that throughout your whole career. I started off infantry, so I was one of those door kickers. I switched into public affairs. That taught me a ton of skills with marketing. Now I'm a recruiter. If I ever stopped being a recruiter, I'd probably go into something like something mechanical. You know, I like working on vehicles and stuff, so I'd probably do something like that, you know, build those skills. And, you know, and it's kind of going back to your previous question about if you're on the fence or you don't know what you want to do in life, the National Guard is the best way to do it, because why would you go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a degree you don't know that you want to work in that career field? Let us train you, get paid to get trained, find out if you like it, and even if you don't, it's only 1 week in a month.
Right.
It's not that big of a deal, right?
Right.
And then you can get your degree in something else later on down the line, or whatever you decide to do with your life, you know. So.
Do you guys think that the stigma against the military, like, have you seen a decrease in like enrollment or the interest as far?
If anything, there's been an uptick.
That's great.
If I'm being 100% honest, you know, every administration, you know, some things get lax, some things get more strict, right? We're able to enlist more people because of those factors.
Right.
And yeah, if anything, it's been an uptick.
And lastly, what are some things available that people wouldn't usually like guess or like think or associate with this line of work?
Oh, there's a lot. You know, like I said, the biggest misconception is everybody thinks we're infantry, and that's all we do. But I would probably say the smaller career fields that we have, like CBRN, which is like the hazmat, and thinking of kind of roundabout ways to tie those into other careers. So a big one is for truck drivers, you might already have your CDL, but your company might want you to have that hazmat certification to transport chemicals, fuel, things like that. You can get those certifications through our training, through that CBRN unit. So even though you're not doing the truck driving on the military side, you're still tying that into your civilian career. Yeah.
Another one that comes into mind is trades, right? So we have welders, we have electricians, we have plumbers, we have HVAC. But when someone comes to me for wanting to be an electrician, I'm like, okay, do you want to wire houses or do you want to work on helicopters? Because helicopters, they need their electricians as well. So it's something different, something that people really don't think about is like, yeah, I know electricity, but let me work on a helicopter one weekend a month.
Do you guys have like a set time where you, not, I guess retiring would be the right word. Like, do you guys know when or have an idea?
2042.
Yeah, so we're both actually the same age. I enlisted almost right out of high school. I played soccer for a semester at Lawrence Tech first, then started the enlistment process. So I enlisted back in 2010. So I get to retire. I'm actually eligible for retirement in 4 years. So I can retire with a pension before I'm even 40. He's got to wait a little bit longer.
I enlisted in
but-
2019.
Yeah.
So 2039, 2042.
Okay. Now this is like, I had asked you guys this off camera,
Mhm.
but like, as far as like the tiny things and the day-to-day changes, like, I asked you guys about your military time on your phone.
Yeah.
Like for me, okay, it's gonna sound silly, but like for me, I've tried it before, and I personally can't do the math to like tell what time it is. So,
Subtract 12.
Yeah.
So
It's just something you get used to.
So
also. Yeah.
1900. Subtract 12. What do you get? You get 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
oh, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
7.
Okay.
7 p.m.
Okay. Right, anything you guys just want to get out there?
No, really just want to highlight with the National Guard, the Army National Guard specifically, kind of the reason why I wore just like regular clothes, is highlighting what we call a citizen soldier. You'll hear the term citizen soldier, you'll hear live here, serve here, work here, all those kind of things, and it really just highlights that part-time role that we have. We train 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the summer to maintain the readiness. But other than that, you can be the full-time college student. You can do the trades and whatever you want to do after high school. Not many people realize like how well that fits in with normal life. I think a lot of students that I talk to like the idea of serving, but don't like the idea of putting their life on hold for 4 years while they go off on active duty. And then it also, has the benefit of if there are disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, things like the ice storms that we were talking about earlier. That's where we get our activations, our deployments. We work everything stateside, so you get to help your community, be a part of your community, and not have to just uproot your entire life for several years at a time. So,
Because we were talking about the ice, could you get more into that?
yeah. So last year, I believe it was April or end of March, pretty much everything north of like Midland or Grayling area got hit really hard. There was just this big ice storm that kind of came out of nowhere, knocked down power lines, trees were down, blocking roads. There was a lot of damage to the infrastructure. We were able to mobilize a couple hundred National Guard units soldiers, to go up there and fix those power lines, repair roads. There were hundreds, if not thousands of homes, people stranded. They couldn't get out of their doors because everything was frozen. So we had units going out and rescuing people from the ice and the frozen homes and getting them to shelters. We have units that stand up mobile laundry units and showers. So when there is no power in an area like that, you can still take a shower and stuff like that. So it's all those like little details that not many people think about the National Guard. That's what we do. Yeah.
Would you like to speak about?
Hands-on, like I said, I'm military police, right? So a lot of my stuff was 2020, 2021 with like the civil disturbances and whatnot. Other than that, like just being there, going door to door, like for the Flint water crisis, right? Going door to door, bringing water filters, kind of playing off of the ice storm, like bringing hot meals, bringing, again, water, blankets, because those people didn't have electricity, running water, or even heat. So it was just one of those things where, you know, it's good to help out your own community.
Well, I personally think it's very cool and interesting. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Appreciate
support.
it.
Alrighty, that is all. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.